Welcome to our Entrepreneur Spotlight. I'm Eleanor Hayes. Joining us now is John Rivera-Resto. Welcome. It's good to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
You're known as a mural master, but really, John Rivera-Resto is a brand. How did you build your brand, and what is it?
John Rivera-Resto, well, first of all, there's a lot of John Riveras. It's like John Smith, but there's only one John Rivera-Resto. And I realized that when I did some art, or when I used to make proposals, adding the resto gave me more business. I guess it sounded more sophisticated, and in time it got associated with quality work or with the type of work that is left field, things that people don't think about, that is more intense, more sophisticated. So that's the brand name.
So that's the brand, and so you are a mural artist, you are an actor, you are also a writer. As someone who's building businesses, how do you blend the work?
I discovered early on that if you have a client, and this client hires you to do a job and he likes it, he's going to invite all his friends to see it. And when other friends come in to see your work, they come from different backgrounds. And you start conversations and they're interested, oh, where does the resto come from? Okay, or where does the accent come from? So you begin to present yourself, okay? And you begin to be recognized as the guy who did that mural. They cannot say your name, but it's the guy who did that mural. And then they ask you, I have this business, what do you think about this? Or what do you think about that? And in the end, after 50 years, I ended up, well, I'm designing restaurants and nightclubs, and I'm doing the murals, and I'm planning complete projects, could be theater, could be whatever, because the people who go to those other openings come from those backgrounds and ask me what I think about this job, and at the end I end up taking them.
Describe how you take an idea, a client's idea, and turn it into a mural.
The first thing that I do is absolutely nothing. I get paid for my thinking. So I don't fuss over it. I have plenty of other things to do until it's time to sit with that client. And then I just listen. And I ask questions, because usually what they want is never what they tell you. It's in between the things they don't tell you. Okay? So the more I listen, the more I begin to get this mental picture. Okay? Some people are very good at making it clear, others are not. So in my mind, as I'm listening to the person, I'm analyzing two things. Do I want to work with this person? Okay? Is there going to be that connection? Because an artist and a client got to work very closely. Okay? I become their artist. I became their consultant. Okay? I get invited into their homes or their businesses and their intimates, because these projects take time to do. I'm going to be involved with them. Okay? And then the other thing is I get a complete cinematic image in my head of almost the entire product before I get up. Because they just want to know what's going to be the budget, what are going to be the limitations, what will be the time frame. And that's what makes a good professional. You have to have those answers. This has nothing to do with inspiration. If you rely on inspiration, you're going to die. You're not going to prosper, you're going to starve. You have to be a professional who takes times, hours, days, years of practice and learning and reading. So when you sit there for those 5 minutes, it pays off.
Those are how you work as a muralist. For an entrepreneur in another type of business, what advice would you give them?
There's never time out. I'll give you an anecdote. I used to go with friends for a while. They used to go to pubs and talk. You know, you spend the weekend in pubs and doing this and having a good time. And then I sat down, you know, I have spent 3 months, so many hours doing this, talking about absolutely nothing. I could have used that time for something better, like maybe practicing French or learning this because that's where I'm going to go, or doing this or that. And my advice is this: you need to read, you need to study, you have to be aware of everything, the news, the world, social media, because when you're with a client, chances are the last thing you're going to talk about is going to be the project. They're going to talk about other subjects. Oh, what about golf? What about Tiger Woods? What about the latest sports? What about the economy? What about the war over here? What about the latest fashion? So these are topics that you talk about before you get into it. And the client is going to decide beforehand. They got money. They can pick anybody they want. There's many people that have the same skill I do, but why would they pick you? And that is because there's got to be that connection made ahead of time.
How do you protect your reputation as someone who does quality work and is someone to be referred to for future work?
I don't care what people say about me. I don't listen to it because it is better that they admire you at the end with your work. My work is pretty unique. It can be pretty intense. It's got to be very high end, okay? And it speaks for itself. I don't tend to repeat my work. I finish something, I walk off. I don't even show up at the opening sometimes. I'm not interested, I'm bored. I'm already thinking of the next job. When I'm painting, which I find the most boring thing, the exciting thing is to plan it. Once I plan something in my head, I know how I'm gonna prepare it, cast it, got the crew, got everything going. That's it. I crack the puzzle. Painting is just the mechanics, okay? So while I'm painting, I'm actually writing a play. I'm thinking of something. I don't even look at the wall. It just happens automatic. And I don't know if that answers your question, but it's the best way I can explain it.
Good answer to the question. So challenges, what roadblocks did you meet on the way to success?
Roadblocks has to do mostly with other people that are associated with certain projects. Apathy. People who say, I'm very comfortable with just the way things are. I don't want to rock the boat. We're not interested in any new ideas, which the thing about it is clients come to me because they say, I want something new. I don't want the cookie cutter. I want them to go into my place and doesn't look like the same as this one. It's got to be iconic. It's got to be something different. It's got to have great taste. So it has to have color, human warmth, which is a thing that many architects forget to add to a project. You go into a place, it's so cold, okay? And people like color. They like beauty. They like conversation. They like to be caressed with art. And that's where I come in. So this is one of the biggest problems. Of course, the other one sometimes is just time. Everybody's so used to getting things done tomorrow, they don't realize that art, especially hand-painted art, takes time, takes planning. It takes people with skills, people who will spend years learning their craft to do it right.
Much of your art has been commissioned for private collections or business people. How can people see your work?
In 2003, I created my own website, and I learned how to write code. I said, show me how to write code. I want to create my own website, and which I have a huge mega website called Mural-Master. So that is my calling card. That is my portfolio, and it has been seen all over the world. I get mail from over 40 countries. I mean, I get an invite, can you come to France? One that took me to Asia, can you come to Bali? Can you lecture in Jakarta? Because I also lecture, or I give presentations, or I do this and that. And it opens doors. So I'm able to combine my acting skills, my writing skills, directing, producing skills with my painting skills as an entrepreneur or business acumen, put it all together. But it gives me this exciting life, okay, all because I created this name, John Rivera-Resto, that people associate with a certain expectation, okay? And here I am.
So with all that you have done in the arts, what's your dream project? What's ahead?
My dream project is produce a play that I'm writing right now. It's called Tropical Macbeth. It's really Shakespeare. Macbeth is an adaptation, but I'm gonna set it up in a tropical island in the 1930s, the time of the Mambo, with a Latin dictator. It's gonna be pretty awesome. And I'm writing, directing, producing it, and I want to play Macbeth because when you're born with a face like this, you can play villains so well. So that is it, to produce, do it, and film it.
The brand continues to evolve for John Rivera-Resto. Thank you so much for being with us today.
I'm delighted. Thank you so much for having me here.
And if you found this talk insightful or have something that you would like to share, please comment.